and welcome to Last Time On. This is the podcast for people who want to watch all this prestige television, but who's got time for it?
You know I don't.
I don't have time for it either. And gentlemen, I am sick. I'm sick and tired of not having time. So can you hear it? Can you hear it, guys? Can you hear the drum beat? Can you hear it? Let's go. Let's do this. Come on. LTO is where it's at. We'll fuck you up with a baseball bat.
LTO is where it's at. We'll fuck you up with a baseball bat. We can verse where it's at. I'm Xhafer.
I am Ben.
I'm Victor.
And we're continuing our coverage of Shameless, Season 9, Episode 12. This is the 7th episode of the show we've watched, I want to say. 8th, maybe. We're in Season 9.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're getting towards the end here. Only a couple episodes left until we hit our finale. I started very tepid on this show. And I'm not going to say it's won me over, but I will say I don't hate it as much as I did after the first couple episodes.
I loved the first few episodes. Then I kind of hated it. I feel like it's got too heavy. And I think it's still a little too heavy. It's like, if I'm watching a comedy show, I don't want to have so much feels. And it's having too many feels
I don't think
per
this
episode.
is a comedy show.
It's supposed. I thought it was gonna, dude. If you have fucking William H. Macy passed out drunk with his ass hanging out every episode, then that's supposed to be a comedy. No, it's getting a little too feely. There are too many feels per episode. Its FPE is too high for me. So.
Well, I'm just nervous because right now, as the episode says, Fiona's been hit with the rock bottom, and she's been set up for the people's elbow, and I don't know what's going to come next.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually the end. After rock bottom, people's elbow, you're done. Yeah.
You definitely got points for that one. You called it. Because a few episodes ago, we thought Fiona hit rock bottom, and no, there is a rock underneath that bottom that is further to the bottom than the rock bottom she had previously hit.
Walking through your own puke in your socks? We'll get there later.
At least it's not somebody else's puke, because that's worse.
Arguable. But we've got Season 9, Episode 12. You'll know the bottom when you hit it. We open with Fiona scolding the very concept of our podcast.
While ironing pants, it appeared.
Yeah.
With a beer. So I wonder if that's a illusion, because you're having a bad day if you're ironing and drinking at the same time. I've been there.
And we rapidly skip past this, go to our theme song, which I actually watched this time, and to my surprise, it hasn't changed since Season 1 at all.
Nope,
like
not one
still
iota.
Baby Liam.
No, Baby Liam, it was originally toddler Liam, and then I think Liam got bigger.
No, it is the
I'll
same.
have to go back and watch.
No, he's like in a diaper and everything, yeah.
I know, because his bit has always been dip toothbrush in toilet, start brushing teeth. And I don't like that.
That's
for both
I'm going to go back
hygienic
and watch the
reasons
first episode.
and who's watching the baby.
I know, right? Well, at least Liam's on his own now. Liam is actually completely absent this episode. So is Ian.
As is Ian,
Yeah. I'm wondering if, as this show has progressed, our actors have other commitments, maybe can't make every episode. I don't know when Gotham started airing, if that's impacted Liam's ability to be on this. Or not Liam, Ian. Yeah. But we open on Frank, passed out on the porch. Lip is helping his daughter Zan pack. Surprise daughter. Was that on anyone's bingo cards? I'm surprised we haven't hit bingo yet this season.
I'm not sure it was his daughter.
Just that he had custody.
I'm thinking. Well, I prepared a Xhafer for this, so I'm just going to say,
Go for it.
Last time on,
Tell us what happened to her.
because Liam is missing. I'm going to say last time on, Ian. Yeah, no, Liam. Both Liam and Ian are missing. Oh. Liam's biological dad wanted custody of him a few episodes ago. He just showed up out of nowhere and decided, no, my son's not living in this shithole. And then discovered that Zan is actually Liam's biological sister. Well, maybe she's not.
Half sister, stepsister.
Yeah. They're related somehow. And then Zan's bio mom is out of the picture. So Lip stepped in and started taking care of her, and then the custody happened. It's like nope, I want Xan too. So yeah, that's what I think happened.
Anyways, she gets taken by Child Protective Services of some variety. Lip is upset and grabs all of Fiona's shit and puts it on the porch.
I like how the CPS guy was just like, there's a drunk white dude passed out on your front porch, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no, we know.
As Lip is packing all of the stuff, he is blaming Fee for Xan and Jason.
Yeah.
Don't know who Jason is. I'm going to say it is a different boyfriend, just because that keeps me close to our one boyfriend per episode average.
Yeah. We find out Lip's girlfriend is recently pregnant, and Debbie is real excited about this because Franny can have a similar aged cousin. Share babysitting duty and stuff.
I love how Debbie just sees the bright side in everything. Just poor innocent little.
I'm also glad she has both of her feet.
Yeah.
Oh right. Yeah. Last time that's a point for me. I predicted that was gonna be.
Yeah. I was worried it was going to be like, okay, we're not doing boot. Like, oh, I'm sorry, your foot was so damaged. Like, you are now peg leg Deb. Just because, like, how can we make this the saddest?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going to say it's probably because maybe they wanted to, but the CGI budget for just like putting a big ass green sock on her and make it like she'd been amputated, they were just like, nah, we don't have the budget for that. No.
Lip goes off to work as a motorcycle mechanic when Fiona shows up to the diner drunk to get her last paycheck.
The diner that she previously owned?
We thought she might have owned it, yeah. Every season, it seems like there's something new here, and this is towards the end of the season. I'm going to go ahead and say last time on, within the last 2 or 3 episodes of every season, if not the finale, Fiona loses her job.
Yeah.
It's like consistent every season at the end of the season. She loses whatever job she's had for the majority of the season.
Well, our last episode ended with Fiona getting served, and that was that she was being sued by the homeless people that she let live in her house. I think she lost that lawsuit and had to sell the diner.
Quite possible.
Or she didn't own it. She was just working there as a waitress and owning the dry cleaner and stealing coffee from work.
Yeah. Let's see here.
We now see that Carl is a fry cook
Yep.
at a chain not Long John Silver's.
Are you serious? I wrote down not Popeyes in my notes.
Yeah. Well, he had a big idea. Put clams on the breakfast sandwich.
Ew, it sounds so gross.
Right? It sounds vile. It's like adding clams to the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich is what the thing that they're talking about his big innovation was. That is disgusting.
I'd try it.
When I was briefly in Maine for a stopover, and I had breakfast at a restaurant next to the airport, and I always like to try the local cuisine at places. So the menu of this place, they had lobster and egg breakfast, and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds amazing." It was not. I hated it. It was so gross. I feel so bad for that poor lobster. That God, should have had it with a steak or something.
We cut over to Kev.
I was so sure Vic was about to get his point, but not. Because you said, "Hey, we are due for a dick kick or a crotch punch."
Oh, yeah.
Just oh no, is Kev icing the are we gonna have to fight over? Hey, just because it happened last episode, we know it happened. Is them talking about Kev getting kicked in the dick enough to get you points?
Yeah.
No, there was dick damage here. There was the dick HP has been lowered.
Yeah.
Well, testicle damage. It's its own separate pool. As
Does each ball get its own
those
pool?
stats differently. You have to destroy the each testicle because one regenerates health, one regenerates mana for the dick. Or you guys might be fighting a new monster soon.
I don't have words.
Oh man, that's a Skyrim mod out there somewhere.
You're going to start describing this thing, and I'm just going to be all like, smash the testicles first. And the party's going to look at me and then figure out what you've done.
And he's going to ask, right or left?
Right. So anyways, Kevin has had a vasectomy. Someone says some stupid shit to V as Fiona walks in, cashing her last check to get wasted, mimicking her father and brother before her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the power goes
And
out.
then, yep, the lights are out.
Blackout hits the city. We cut over to Frank, who is still sleeping on the front porch.
He wakes from his blackout as the city enters one. It was very poetic.
Very nice. And I loved the look on Frank's face when he wakes up and he hears people in the neighborhood talking about, hey, the power's out. He just gets the look on his face like, oh, it's time. I've been waiting for this. It's like finally one of his stupid plans that
Yep.
he has is finally going to come to fruition. And we cut over to, so he heads over to the house of the professor. And I just really hope that there is no backstory to this guy. We don't know where he is, where he come from. He's
Never
just
seen him
the
before.
professor. Yes, just the professor. Heads down into his basement where he has a massive stockpile from Vault Tech of food and ammo and water. He's taking inventory. Frank
Sell
cuts
a lot
deal
of Plan
with
D today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Frank cuts a deal with the professor to sell. He's going to be the reseller of emergency. Frank is going to be the reseller of emergency supplies here.
Kevin V have a crisis over the contents of their freezer and
This-
their pending lack of ice, which is very
This made me
important
so
to Kevin
mad
right
because I firmly believe that V and Kevin are not the kind of people who would be able to know or act upon this information. Well, one, never buy black market meat. Just don't do it. But two, V has spent $500 they don't have on surf and turf. And they're like, oh God, no, the power's out. We're going to lose everything. If you have a deep freeze chest, especially if it's full, and you
Leave it
don't
closed.
mess with it, it's good for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Kev, I know, with his wonderful little labradoodle brain, is the kind of person who's just like, but is it still cold? But is it still cold? And he keeps
Open it up to
opening
make
it,
sure it's
and he
still
keeps
cold.
opening it, thereby letting in warm air and ruining the whole enclosed system. But like we've later find out, like they're not even without power for a day. They would have been fine.
When we hear her story about how she bought a bunch of meat from a guy from the back of his truck who said his truck broke down. Have you guys ever run into this? Yeah, but I was curious if it was just I thought it was just a Texas thing. Meat
No.
peddlers. No, this is the thing. I ran into one a long time ago, back in early 2000s. I was helping my mom move out of her old house, and yeah, this guy in a truck came by and gave me this bullshit story about how his order got messed up and he's got twice as much meat as he's supposed to have. And it's, yeah, these guys, they roll around. They feed you a stupid story about how they have extra meat that they need to get rid of. And they're cutting you a deal. And it's usually like they'll Photoshop a flyer with obscenely overpriced cuts of meat. And this is just the cheapest meat ever. Like you could Google it. Google guys selling meat out of the back of a truck. It's so weird. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I was, though, one time at a graduation party where they accidentally added a 0 to the delivery for the deli meats for the party. Like, they asked for 10 pounds and they delivered 100. And so they were just like, everybody who comes to the graduation party, take a to-go container of as much deli meat as you can conceivably make your family eat.
Oh,
because
yes.
we've got 100 pounds of deli meat. This isn't fitting in our fridge.
Help with this, please.
I've
I
also
love it.
decided that Black Market Meat is the name of my death metal band.
And the name of this episode, Black Market Meat. It totally is.
Black market.
Also,
Black Market Meat.
do you know who would have had this Black Market Meat situation on lock? Svetlana.
It's true.
Oh, yeah, she's
Missing
gone.
from this episode.
Oh, dude, she would have
Had this under control 7 seconds before the power went out.
For
Okay, surf and turf, cash only.
I put padlock on freezer so Labradoodle cannot open.
I love V's idea. She was like, "Yeah, I got soul and steak. Was gonna have surf and turf and call it the Funk Soul, brother." We cut over to not Long John Silver's again, where Lori, the manager, is telling everyone not to panic, and of course everyone's like, "No, of course we're not going to panic. So let's just go home." And she is all just like, "No, this is a perfect time for a deep clean."
Yep. I've had these managers, and Carl's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to go home anyway." And once again, this being like poetry because it rhymes, she's like, "Hey, you know what happens during blackouts? Sex happens during blackouts. So you know what you need to do?"
Actually.
And she gives Carl the same terrible sex advice Carl gave Deb.
Put the finger in the booty.
Yep.
She's like, "Yeah, girls love that." Is she religious? Yeah, she definitely put the finger in the booty.
I did also notice a continuity error because Lori goes and locks the doors, and then Carl just like walks out the front door after being like, "All right, I guess I will put it in the booty."
I'm going to say that that's a Gallagher trait. Like if you're rolling up a character sheet and you choose the class Gallagher, that's just a bonus they have to lock picking. They don't even have to roll. They just open the door.
Get through that shit.
We get a scene of Carl being a 5-stage clinger with his girlfriend who's at her softball practice. And did you guys clock the name of the team?
No.
Is the Vectors! Team Vector, which is my favorite supervillain ever. It's Vector!
What's Vector from?
Despicable Me.
Yes.
That's his because of course every fucking character named Victor is always a villain, but this one I really liked because he's like my supervillain name is Vector because I commit evil with both direction and magnitude. Vector. Okay, I've had my moment. Thank you.
Lip goes to talk to Tammy. I don't want to put a label on them. Like, I don't know what to call their relationship. It appears to be more than a one-night stand, but not a committed relationship. So in
Seems
my
like
notes,
the typical Gallagher toxic thing.
I settled on co-conspirator of sexual congress is what I'm calling their relationship.
I am updating my Tinder profile with that term right there. Seeking co-conspirator
of sexual congress. Let me know how that goes for you.
Just because I feel like most Gallaghers have unindicted co-conspirator like in their file several times.
Yeah. For sure.
He interrupts a haircut and it's like, "Man, wait."
It's like we need to talk about this baby, and it's like she's known for a day. And it's like maybe one needs a little bit of time to process some feelings.
That said, I will say I was actually very, very impressed with Lip in this episode. He's starting to win me back over because he's very, very just like, "I need you to know that it is like your choice, but I am here. I am committed. I'm going to be part of this." Because that can, impact her choice and her decision making, knowing that she's not going to, "Hey, this is tough. You're not in it alone." That's great. But also just be like, "And when you have a decision, I'm here for you."
Yeah.
Don't keep asking, "You got a plan yet?" It's like, "No, man, it's been 24 hours.
Maybe give her some space. Maybe just leave her a voicemail instead of barging into her work in the middle of her shift. But
I mean, power is out.
Oh, yeah, she's still cutting hair with the power out?
Scissors still work, man.
Yeah.
Analog.
Good point. I didn't
hair dye still works. Yeah, you couldn't use the hair dryer. But water would still be working. Like, you'd still be able to do a shampoo and a rinse and stuff. Like,
okay, I know water works without electricity. Thank you.
See, I did not.
How did you know? I know the water doesn't work without it.
Because it's not a guarantee, Vic.
Yeah, Vic, I grew up in the country.
Yeah.
I had a well. When the power goes out, the water stops working.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh,
so this is actually a throwback to when I first got married to my wonderful wife, Glo. We moved, and I was living in the big city in Metro Detroit, and we had our first power outage, and I'm just like, "Oh," and she's just like, like I'm panicking, like, "All right," because a big thing about it, especially for me in the country, we lose power. We don't have power for like 9 days.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
You save your flushes.
You save your flushes.
So you systematically use each bathroom because you get one. There's the
Ooh,
water in
God.
the tank, and that's it. Until you hook up the generator and get things going. Glow, having been in the city and knowing that the bathrooms still work, like, oh, this is annoying, immediately goes and flushes and goes to the bathroom. And I come, like, I'm waiting for her as she exits, like, what are you doing?
No.
You used the one! You used the one flush we have. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yep. Yeah, it depends on if you've got a water
works.
tower.
We're in the city.
Yeah, you need an elevated water reservoir, and then gravity does all the work, and water works without power.
The things you learn on Last Time On, guys. I mean, wow. This is.
You know what also works without power? Vodka. Fee is still drinking.
Yep. Frank hears that this blackout is going to last 18 hours. He celebrates. He knows it's his time to strike. So he starts to set up Gallagher blackout supply with Fiona, who agrees to cut in for a 50-50 cut.
We also find out that Frank was with somebody named Ingrid, who is taken off with his unborn children?
That's not surprising anymore at all. Yeah.
I want to know. I want to hear from Laura what's going on there.
Yeah.
I feel like the way he said it made it sound like it might not be like
Human babies?
Well, I was under the impression the way he said it that like she had his frozen sperm.
Something. Or like
It did not seem like it was full children, like in the gestational, like I don't think she was pregnant. Like the way he says it very specifically in a way that makes it feel like it's something else. So
she took off with the chicken incubator because I was going to start selling eggs.
Yeah.
Something like
seems
that.
very on brand. I'd put money on that one.
Setting up a chicken concern.
Yeah. We cut over to Carl, who's worried about Debbie cutting in on his girlfriend Kelly.
This is weird, man.
Debbie is not seemingly interested in more than friendship.
This is one of those things where it's like, okay, siblings, is she interested, or is she just really, really enjoying how much this is like freaking Carl's bean?
Yeah.
I think Deb might not actually know which her answer is.
Okay.
I think Deb thinks she's freaking Carl's bean and is going to be like, oh, wait, oh no.
Maybe it's just because our only like real experience with Debbie and her sexuality was her like not wanting to, but very resigningly deciding to sleep with that other woman to keep the roof under her house, like very under duress.
You know, sexuality is a spectrum, and one of the
no doubt.
There
no doubt.
So it's buying up local news all over the country.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, it's like
joke, Ben.
I've met people. Yeah, so did I. I have stupid Spectrum. They suck. But anyways, but I've known people like Debbie who see sex as like just another thing. It's no big deal to them. It's just like something you learn how to do to get the point across when it's time. It's like, okay, what do I have on my schedule today? You know, I got to do laundry. I got to cook dinner. I got to have sex. I got to walk the dog. You know, it's just some people view it like that. So it's interesting. I think that's Debbie. She's all just like, oh, okay, time to do the sex.
I did like here that. Well, one, I was very, very, very angry because Deb lies to us because she says she's going to a scrimmage. It is not a scrimmage. It is a practice. They are playing themselves.
Yeah.
That is not a scrimmage. A scrimmage is we're playing, but not for record keeping. Carl's like, no, I'm going. And they fight about Gatorade, and then Deb almost forgets Franny.
She almost forgets her kid.
But that funny thing is that ties into the fact that they both need public transportation. So in a minute we get a scene of them staring daggers at each other on the bus. But it's like, haha, Carl got a head start, and the bus still arrives at the same time.
We cut over to Kevin, who is very concerned about all this meat they have. So he storms out, walks home, and starts gathering up every sweater from his house that he possibly can
Every
to
coat.
insulate this freezer.
All the coats.
Yep.
Which, again, he keeps opening the damn freezer to check on it to make sure it's still cold. It's like, dude, you're fucking it up. This is like the same thing whenever I'm watching Iron Chef or Chopped, and they have 20 minutes and they decide they're going to bake something, and they keep opening the fucking oven to check on it. It's like, no, you idiot, leave it alone. You're letting all the heat out every single time you open it. It's like,
Fiona and Frank steal all the ice from Patsy's pies.
Yep.
Because she got a illegal duplicate copy of her key.
Mm-hmm.
Which, one thing, she says a key that says "do not copy" just means do not copy or give the hardware guy $10. I don't know if everybody has these, but like a lot of places, there's not even a person who does it anymore. You stick it into a machine. And I worry about that. Just like how many keys that should not be copied are copied out there.
Well, I used to work at a government building, and it was my first. I remember the first time they gave me a key. I wanted to get a duplicate of it because I lose keys all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I did was I went to a place, and the machine wouldn't take it. And I found out that those do not duplicate keys. I'm sure some of them just say do not duplicate on them, and they're just regular ass keys.
Mm-hmm.
But for like high security places and government keys, they're big and thick, and they won't fit into a machine. And then I went to a locksmith and asked them to do it, and he was like, "Nope, sir. Actually, I'm supposed to report it if someone comes in here." And I'm like, "Never mind. Give me the key. I'm out." So I don't know. I want to know who Fiona's key guy is. You can just slip him $10 and they make a key.
I'm guessing it wasn't a particularly secure key.
Yeah.
No.
Lip gets a talking to from Tammy's friends, one of which is named
first-
Cammy.
Yep. We see that Lip is working with one of our great modern That Guy actors, Scott Michael Campbell,
I didn't recognize him.
who's his boss. He's a guy I've seen in so many things, and he's just like got one of those like super interesting character actor faces. So I was super excited to see him, and I loved like Tammy's two friends come in, and I believe he's married to one of them. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he's immediately like, "Bye, dude. Good luck."
Yep.
I'm cutting bait. You are in with the sharks. I am not here for you.
I counted it, and these two girls told Lip, "We're gonna fuck you up." 4 times. They specifically said, "We're gonna fuck you up."
We're going to fuck
During
you
the
up.
course of the conversation.
Have you guys been on either side of this before?
All the time. Yep.
On which side, Vic? Have you been on both sides or just one side all the time?
Oh, both. It's my first wife was a burlesque dancer and a Ren Fair frequenter.
Mm-hmm.
And once everyone found out that we were engaged, all of her guy friends came up to me and said, "If you hurt her, I'm gonna fuck you up." And I would shake their hand, look them straight in the eye, and said, "Same to you, buddy. Same to you." Said that pretty much got the point across. So.
Yeah. Ben?
Now, Ben's a sheltered unicorn, man. He is the most.
He might have had.
Sheltered.
Oh, you're very sheltered.
You're very sheltered.
You just told the story about one
Yours-
flush, Ben.
Just a difference in water pressure.
One flesh.
One flush, Ben.
No, dude, Ben, you are too pure for this world. I swear, I've said this many times. If we're on a fucking spaceship and the xenomorph hatches, dude, I'm giving you my spot in the life pod, dude, because you have to go on. It's too late for me and Xhafer. Okay, dude, we're just gonna stay there, smoke weed, and get face hugged. you have to go on and
I mean,
thrive.
I will say if I had to pick one person I know to pretend like they weren't bitten by a zombie because maybe I'll be okay, I would probably pick Xhafer. Yeah, I don't think so. I do know a bunch of people. So my wife and I, when we were dating, briefly broke up, and I know a bunch of people came up and were just like, "I don't know if love exists anymore." Like, this has shaken me to my core. But I
What
don't
a
think I was
different
ever
experience of that story that I have than everyone else.
What about you, Xhafer?
Yeah, I've definitely been on the "hey, we'll fuck you up" side of things a couple of times. I don't think anyone's told me that they would fuck me up if I hurt somebody, though. outside of occasionally a glare from like a father, like an act, like when you're meeting the parents. I've gotten one of those like before, but for the most part, I've just had to be the person who was all like, "Hey, better fucking watch your step right now."
I've also been on the opposite end of the spectrum of that.
Yeah, where you fucked somebody up.
When I met her parents, they were just like thrilled that she was moving out, and they were like, "Yes, take her. She's your problem now." They were enthused. They were like, "We don't care. We don't care. You just get her out of the house."
But yeah,
so Fee and Frank.
No.
What?
No, because they reference Goon Squad in this line.
I forgot about this.
We have to acknowledge that.
Oh yes, we must acknowledge.
The guy comes out and says, "Is the Goon Squad gone?"
They're gonna show you how.
Yeah, I can't believe I put that in my notes and everything.
Okay. Now we can move on, Ben.
Sorry, yes, that is legitimately my mistake.
Same here.
Fiona and Frank are scamming. Basically, every time we cut back to them, I just write, Fee and Frank are scamming. They are gouging everybody.
They got a generator, too, and they're charging by the minute to charge your phone. I mean, that's smart right there.
But you know what?
Oh, and also... Go ahead.
I can forgive a lot. Hey, I can forgive the blackout profiteering. You know what I can't forgive? Selling Shasta.
Oh my God!
I've been meaning to mention that. Shasta has been in the background of like several of the past episodes. Like, God, dude, that is one of the symptoms of poverty right there. Yeah, actually, the first time I ever got drunk. Okay, a quick backstory. I was like, 14 or 15. Parents were out of town. We had a bunch of friends over, and one of our friends had a rich father who was an alcoholic, and she stole some bottles of champagne from her father's stash. And this was in the early 90s. And these, I remember specifically, these were 3 bottles of champagne dated 1976. They were pretty fucking expensive. And we mixed them with Shasta Orange Cola.
A war crime, Vic.
It was, dude. My very first time ever getting drunk was a fucking war crime.
You couldn't have just got a pack of Milwaukee's Best Ice like every other high schooler.
Oh, dude, when you're high school, you take what you can get. And apparently we got really lucky and just didn't realize it because I tried it straight and it was like, this is disgusting. Pass me that Orange Cola.
You're a monster.
I know. It's an unforgivable sin that I just have to live with. Yep.
Yeah. Carl mean mugs Debbie on the bus ride. This was fun.
Yeah. Yes, I loved this. And then we find Fiona finding her stuff out on the curb.
Yep.
And as a person who does fight choreography, the fight between Fiona and Lip here is terrible. One of the worst fights I've seen on TV. It is awful. Because, like, everything I know about Gallagher's tells me that you're not getting, like, little rabbit punches and somebody half jumping on somebody. You're getting a bat to the back of the knee when you're not looking, and that is how they fight. So I was very disappointed in this. They break it up, and then Fiona drinks at Lip, who's, hey, I'm sorry, I turned my life around, and things are actually going, well, aside from the unexpected pregnancy, are going okay. And then you're screwing everything up. And she's like, oh, am I? Drink, drink, drink. And it's like, we have actively watched Fiona consume about 11 drinks today.
Yeah. We get a little bit more of the reasoning. It is the alcoholism. Lip is specifically trying to keep Fiona away from Liam and Franny. He calls out during this fight. The youngest of the kids don't want them exposed to this. The same reason that they kicked Frank out earlier in the show. And I'm guessing Lip was kicked out for similar reasons as well at some point.
Lip is yelling and pointing at Fiona saying, you need to take a personal fucking inventory. And I love the way Frank just has this incredulous look on his face. Like, are you you fucking AA people are all the same. It's like,
Frank, we were watching you die 3 seasons ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, oh, you AA people think you're better than everybody else.
Lip is clean. Frank is the worst possible choice for mediator of this argument. And when he takes credit for co-parenting with Fiona, I literally yelled, "Fuck you" at the TV. I did not have time to pause for notes. I was so upset. I had to get up, walk away for a moment, come back, sit down, rewind, pause, take notes.
Being a single parent's not an easy job. I couldn't have done it without Fiona. Cut her some slack. Like, Frank,
Right.
shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
We
Over
then
at the
get
softball.
Carl being a grade A clinger.
Kelly needs to get away from the Gallagher shitstorm. She's too good for
Yes.
this. And
Absolutely.
I watched this scene and I'm all like, Kelly probably doesn't deserve this. And then we actually get to interact with her a little bit later, and she does not. She needs to get away from this.
Real quick, did you notice that Frank and Fiona had set up their shop under that same bridge
Oh yeah,
that we've seen a few
yeah.
times? Is that a bridge in Chicago? You guys been to Chicago?
It's just they're
right?
under
You know
the L
this
train.
bridge?
yeah.
The L train? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
The
just gonna
public
assume.
transport. Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
their subway doesn't
enough for me.
actually go underground for most of it.
yeah.
Anyway,
Kev thinks up the idea for the cookout, since they've got all this ribeye and they don't want it to go to waste, and it's already thawed solely
That
from his
freezer
meddling.
must be busted.
Yeah, $5 stakes to recoup their losses. Frank asks for $50 for ice to save Kevin's balls. Like, V isn't personally responsible for every single member of that family being alive at this point. That motherfucker. Although Kev does get back when he asks for $20 for a beer.
Yes. I did appreciate that.
warm
All right,
beer.
that'll be $20, $50 for ice. So
yeah, Frank and Fiona have a little bit of an argument because Fiona wants more of the cut because she is kind of, it's accurate when she tells Frank, no one's going to buy from you, Frank. You're Frank. Like, you need me. And Frank, for the first time ever, gives good advice, sort of. Or at least he's always giving advice, but he's finally giving advice to Fiona about something that he knows, and that is how to be a drunk.
Yep.
and that she is a bad drunk. She is
Yeah.
all
She's a
gas,
mean
no
drunk.
brakes.
She's a mean drunk. She's drinking to forget, not to live in the moment.
It's like, wow,
Which-
Frank, this is the one subject you were allowed to give advice on.
I mean, he's full of crap, but he's also right about her.
Yeah.
A broken clock and all.
Yeah, yes.
The cookout rolls, and I appreciate all the shit they talk about Chicago. That made me smile.
It is a garbage city full of degenerates with bad pizza and bad hot dogs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
you went there.
I'll take it one further. The only good pizza in Chicago, tavern style, it's just St. Louis style, and they stole it.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm going to bring this up in the lab later because, man, the lab rats love to argue about pizza. So
I will say though, I did appreciate that later we find out these are all White Sox fans. So at least they're not Cubs fans because the Cubs
Okay,
Could
There's
be
two-
worse.
So there's two baseball teams in Chicago? Is that what it is?
Yes.
the
I
Chicago
didn't
White
even
Sox
know
and the
that was
Chicago
allowed.
Cubs.
I didn't even know that was legal. I thought it was one team
So-
per city.
This is all because there were two competing baseball leagues for a long time. Right, Ben? You know more about this than I do, but this is a whole American League, National League thing, right?
Okay. I'm somewhat
But
familiar
also,
with that.
you can
The
have
origins
more
of
than
such.
one team per city.
Yeah.
It is more of a matter of do you have the population center to support it? So
Yeah.
like there are two, there's the New York Yankees and the New York Mets. There's the
Right.
Los Angeles Angels
And formerly the
Los
Dodgers.
Angeles-
The Dodgers also started in
yeah, there used
New
to be
York.
3 teams in New
Oh.
York. And now the LA
okay.
Dodgers, although the Los Angeles Angels are actually out in Anaheim. But whatever, the Detroit Zoo's actually in Royal Oak.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get
fine.
mad about this stuff. Yeah, a lot of the big cities have two teams.
Yeah.
We left off with
Talking
Fiona
about-
starting a riot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Frank gives Kevin some ball ice. And then when they find out that everywhere else has power, Fiona starts up a small riot. I will say, while this is all going on, Frank's like, a riot in this heat? Best line of the episode.
Yeah.
I feel that in my bones.
I love that the one guy, I think we've gotten his name before, but the chonky white guy who's always wearing a trucker hat, who's at the bar, he's like the Morn of the Alibi.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm with him. Him and V are just like, fuck this. I'm going to steak all this perfectly good steak right here. But yeah, they make some makeshift drums out of plastic buckets. Where the hell did they get the drumstick?
So V stays behind to clean up and sees that Fiona has left all of her shit on the floor of the Alibi.
Yeah.
Lip continues calling Zan, leaves his 15th voicemail.
Tammy.
No, Zan. He's calling his daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or whoever that is.
V and Lip discuss Fiona's situation. He presses V to not help Fiona, so she actually has to bottom out and stop her drinking and not just low-key enable her. Power comes on right before the protest turns violent.
As part of Lip and V's conversation, though, we find out that Fiona lost the apartment building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wrecked her car and had to spend some time in jail.
Mm-hmm. And this conversation that V and Lip have, I'm very can see both sides of this. Because, like, on the one hand, you need to be there for a friend who's going through some shit, and at the same time, like, to me, what I value most in a friendship or any relationship is honesty, and it's like, and a big part of that is my best friends that I have in life are the type of people who will tell me when I'm fucking up. When they're saying, Victor, you're being stupid. Like, that's, and I include you two on that because you two are the type of guys who will tell me to my face. Yes.
Get a boom mic stand.
That's what I value most. And like, I've had exes who are the opposite, who just want to build themselves an echo chamber. Like, if any of their friends call them out on their bullshit, she will just be like, no, you're done. We're not friends anymore. And that's a very bad way to live, in my opinion.
Look, Victor, as a father, I know these things, and it's very important that you get a mic stand.
Yeah. Now, when the power comes back on, did you guys catch this? Because this dude, this random
is like
goon
about to throw that trash can through the window.
Yeah, but the power came back on.
Means so that means up the South Side.
He was gonna mess up a South Side bar.
Yeah.
Riots rarely are targeted.
Exactly. Who was it? I think it was Men in Black that had the quote, people are smart.
Smart. People are dumb, stupid, panicky animals, and you know this.
Yep, There you go. That's it. This is very accurate. Like, the more people you gather together, the lower the collective IQ gets. So
everyone goes back to the Alibi. Kev calls for a celebration on the neighborhood uniting to make the most of a shitty situation and turn it into a good day.
Yeah.
But Fiona won't have it.
How dare anybody be happy when I'm sad? Right. I've known these people.
Man, I had a real serious conversation about these kinds of people yesterday.
Oof.
No. Removing these people from your life.
It's the best thing to do, man.
Yeah.
Best thing to do. Yeah, actually, when you two, when you approached me with this podcast, this buddy, I effectively, doubled the amount of guy friends, of male friends that I have, that I talk to on a regular basis. Because before the 2 weeks, I don't trust other guys, period. Like, men are terrible. So
this is a long con for us to steal your kidneys.
Yeah. Which,
by the way, I've been meaning to ask what your blood type is.
Oh, no problem. Well, you know what? I like you guys enough that you're worth it. I would lose a kidney for you guys.
Thanks. I appreciate that. But yeah, Fiona is not having it. V tries to de-escalate and tells Fiona that she can't stay with them.
And speaking of cutting toxic people out of your life, we cut back to the house where Carl gets dumped.
Yep. Thank fuck. Tammy comes to talk to Lip, and they at least start to have the conversation that they weren't ready for this morning.
And
Fiona
they end up laughing about names. Also, I'm
they
curious,
laugh about names.
Did either of you guys play team sports?
I did Little League when I was a kid, baseball. I don't remember much of it. I was
this
very
entire
young.
episode, after the scrimmage, Kelly is just walking around in her softball outfit, and it's like, No.
Yeah,
You
no.
get out of that stuff quick. You are gross.
It is a famously hot day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are very inconsistent about who's sweaty and who's not in the episode. So,
Yeah. Where's our sweat consistency? Fiona stays at her condemned apartment building.
which I don't think it's hers.
I mean,
think she
well,
lost it, and she just knows that there's nobody there right now. So and she still has a way to get in. So so that's how. Yeah,
that's probably true. I was just trying to establish the building. She has the worst hangover I've ever seen.
Well, and gentlemen, before we move on, we know that she lost her apartment building. We don't know how. So I'm going to ask you guys, let's get weird with it.
Let's get weird.
all right, got to get weird with it.
All right, so everything in this show is Frank's fault, as I've established on every single one of these Let's Get Weird With It's. And I'm going to continue that tradition here because Frank sees this $6 million lawsuit as an opportunity. So Frank convinces Fiona to get a lawyer to countersue the guy who got hurt for $6.5 million for damages caused by the roof not being done on time and issues with the city and permits and general stress, and he just a laundry list of things that are all bullshit, right? And so he gets the seediest lawyer he can find, and the case is thrown out of court immediately, and Frank, in a flurry, got a cosign on the lawyer's paperwork where if they couldn't pay him out of the building, out of the recouped fees, that the building would revert to the lawyer's name. And so that's how she lost the building, is Frank got this lawyer involved who then took ownership of the building to pay for his legal fees for the failed lawsuit.
Cameo from, I forgot the actor's name,
Bob
but Saul
Odenkirk?
Goodman. Yes. You know exactly where I was going.
All right, Victor, what about you?
I agree that it is Frank's fault, and it's the same setup as Xhafer, but he goes about it a different way. He's like, hey, listen, we got to make some money, and we got to make some money quick. So you know what's really popular right now? Ghost hunter shows, right? And Fiona's all just like, Frank, this apartment building, it's not. He goes, no, but nobody knows that. So we start some rumors saying that this apartment building is abandoned and it's haunted. And Fiona's like, it's neither. But so they do it anyway. They get an amateur film crew in, and all the Gallaghers are in her. They got Carl in a bed sheet. They got Kevin there rigging up some like a fishing line to make shit float and all that kind of crap. So they film an amateur Ghost Hunters episode in this apartment building. And it is a huge hit on cable access or whatever in Chicago. And so they get money rolling in. They get sponsorships. They're saying, but it's like they try to make it serious, but it's so stupid that everyone's laughing at it. So it initially works out. They get some hits on YouTube. But then, as soon as they start getting money rolling in, looks like they're finally going to recoup that money from the lawsuit, the city shows up. And it's because building code inspectors were watching that episode, and because the apartment building is technically not condemned or abandoned or whatever, they're like start hitting them up with all kinds of code violations that they saw in the Ghost Hunter episode. There's like, you got pipes exposed, you got mold, and they hit her with so many fines that she has to declare bankruptcy or whatever, and they close down the building. I don't know how that works, but either way, the code people show up and they're like, nope, we saw it all. Your turn, Ben.
So, what my thought is, this ends up just being a distraction. Fiona ends up having to spend money on fighting the lawsuit that she was going to spend fixing up stuff. And one of the things she really needed to fix up was the boiler room down in the basement. Because things don't get fixed, well, Frank decides to go work on it by himself, because everything is Frank's fault. And what happens? Frank opens up the wrong thing and releases the mole men. And they have to fight them off, and it destroys the building, and now the building is destroyed and they're out of money. But the one bright side is the guy with the lawsuit goes away because he's like, she ain't got no money, and she's got mole men? I don't want this.
Mole men? So what are the mole men? Are they like crab people? Or
They're subterranean cryptid people.
Is that a specific reference to something? Because I remember
a type
fighting
of
giant
cryptid.
moles in like Fallout.
Not
like
mole
a
rats. It's like Bigfoot. It's
Yeah.
a
Mole men.
subterranean civilization.
They fight
of
the Fantastic
mole
Four. Yeah.
They did not fight the Fantastic Four. Are you
Oh,
serious?
Google
They
that
did.
shit. Oh, many times. Reoccurring villains. The Mole Man.
Why the fuck do superheroes go?
That's going to be in the movie. They got what's his name from Cobra Kai.
Oh, stop! Oh my God, the mole. God,
Just you
you
wait.
are out of ideas for superhero movies. Fucking Mole Man, hear me out.
I mean, that's how The Incredibles ended.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet either. That's been on my list. Whatever.
It's okay. So yeah, Fiona finds rock bottom and goes to AA with Lip to credits.
But we get a post-credit scene.
We have a post-credit scene where Carl gives up his collection of lesbian porn.
I love that he brings his box of porn in with him to work and gives it away to his coworkers. And his boss says, "You're giving away all your porn, honey?" He says, "Just the girl-on-girl stuff because it makes me sad."
And then the boss is like, seen it.
Yes.
In it, yeah.
Oh man, that made me laugh really hard. So.
And that's our episode.
Right.
All right.
It's time to roll some dice.
I got the dice right here.
All right, I got my Roku ready. Gonna watch the next episode immediately after this recording. Give it to me. Roll low. Give me them low numbers.
That is an 11.
Yeah. I'll
Which
take
puts
it.
us to season 10, episode 9, Oh Captain, My Captain.
Interesting.
Frank discovers his past connection to Faye. Don't know who that is. Debbie's day with Claudia's daughter does not go well. For a Gallagher episode description to say does not go well makes me think that it is horrific.
Yeah.
Carl tries to toughen up his cadets.
Carl has cadets. That's a problem in itself.
All right. Well, that's what we're going to be watching next week, but it's time to make some predictions.
Lincoln, what are you doing up there?
Guessing? I guess no one's coming.
I have seen into the future.
You ruined the prophecy.
I'm going to start with my daytime. I've been doing lots of we won't see. I got to mix it up a little bit. I think we will see Tammy again.
So that's softball girl, right?
No,
That's Kelly.
that's Lip's.
Kelly's
Oh, right,
softball
Tammy
girl.
is-
Tammy is the girl that Lip is the co-conspirator of Sexual Congress with.
Okay, yeah.
My evening prediction is we won't see Kelly again. I feel like it's probably a gimme. Maybe I should switch those. And in prime time, we're not going to see Liam again until the finale.
Ooh, bold. I can see it.
So I will say daytime, things actually start to turn around for Fiona. She has actually hit bottom and she is going to start getting her life together. My evening prediction, Deb does attempt to get with Kelly. And then my prime time is, in the end, Lip and Tammy do not end up having the baby.
We'll see where all that lies once we get to that next episode. Vic, you got your predictions ready?
I've got 2 out of 3. I'll think of the third one on the fly. So,
Well, he's thinking I do have some bad news for you, Vic.
what?
No nudity in this episode.
Nope. There was, because there were several shirtless protesters there in the riot, and I specifically said in the very first, I've got it on recording, I've got it on tape, that I said the nipples count, because this is a hill I will die on. I am very, very adamant about how fucked up it is that men can run around outside with their shirts off, but women can't.
You're right.
No,
Everyone
I
should
will-
be wearing shirts.
Exactly. It's all shirts or no shirts, because I cannot stand it when it's outside, when I'm outside walking my dog and I see some sweaty, hairy dude with no shirt on and pit hair. It's disgusting. I want to see it. I'm like, Dude, all shirts or no shirts. I will die on Nipple Hill, sir.
All right.
And we also got
give us your
violence.
choices, Vic.
And we also got violence with the horribly choreographed fight between.
There was violence.
Yeah, crime.
No crime.
I mean,
price gouging.
No, not a crime.
I'm gonna rewatch this
that
episode.
meat
to see
was
if I can
probably stolen.
But I don't think that there's crime in this episode.
Yeah, we stopped short of a crime right before the window was going to get smashed. So almost.
So
there.
price
Very
gouging would not apply in this situation because price gouging as a crime is very explicitly raising prices to take advantage of a crisis.
Yeah.
When we are looking at the Gallagher Blackout Depot, their prices have not changed.
Oh, nope. We did get crime. Fee
Breaking and
stole
entering.
stuff. Yeah, breaking and entering, and she stole ice. It counts.
Oh, okay. Yep, breaking and entering totally counts.
Woo! That was close.
Ice theft.
Okay.
Okay, so my new predictions. My daytime prediction is we're going to get an on-screen lesbian kiss, probably with Debbie. I was going to say just Debbie, but I'm opening it up. We're going to get an on-screen girl-on-girl kiss within the remaining episodes. And I should have made this
Has
prediction
it
earlier.
we see or happens?
We'll see it during our watch.
We will see it on our watch.
The three of
Okay.
us. The three of
Okay.
us will see it.
Okay.
I'm thinking probably Debbie, but I'm opening it up. I'm just going to say anyone. Bonus points if it's Debbie. My evening prediction is we're going to see someone puke on screen. The three of us are going to see it. I've been saving this one. I should have made it previously because we got so not counting Fee puking this episode. We're going to get another puke scene.
Okay.
And my primetime prediction, someone's going to get food poisoning or something equivalent, and they're going to spend at least half the episode going probably Kevin, because that's what happens to him. But yeah.
Okay. Well, with all of that, there's only one thing left to do, and that's say thank you. Thank you, Ripe, for letting us use Goon Squad as our theme music and personal anthem. We really appreciate it. You can find more of their music on your favorite streaming services, and they are touring this summer. Go see them live. Wish they were coming here.
And thank you to you, the listener, for tuning in and helping us make this show possible. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a review on iTunes or Facebook, and we'll give you a shout out here on the show. If you don't like our show, just keep that shit to yourself.
And feel free to join us on the Last Time On Listener Lounge on Facebook. Password is Wahafaher. And join us on the What Happened Here Productions Discord. Lots of great stuff going on over there. Funny memes. Really great people. And we will see you next time.
The other day.
I'm sorry, what?
The Discord popped off the other day.
Oh, yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, I was getting so many notifications.
And we will see you next time.